most people will never become millionaires because they're stuck trading time for money, and they don't realize how limiting that model is. Here's the problem. If your income is directly tied to how many hours you work, there's a hard cap on how much you can earn. No matter how skilled or hardworking you are, there are only 24 hours in a day, and eventually you'll hit a ceiling. You can ask for a raise, switch jobs, or work overtime, but at the end of the day, it's still time for money. And when you stop working, the income stops too. This is the classic employee mindset. Clock in, do the work, get paid. It feels stable, especially if you've been taught to pursue security through a 9 to 5. But stability is not the same as scalability. Trading your time means you can only scale your income so far. If you're making $25 an hour and working 40 hours a week, that's $1,000 a week before taxes. Even if you double your rate or hours, which isn't easy or sustainable, you're still stuck within a system that depends on your constant input. So what's the solution? You need to shift from trading time for money to building or acquiring income-generating assets ***. These are things that make money for you whether you're actively working or not. Assets can include investments like stocks, real estate, businesses, intellectual property, or even digital products. The goal is to separate your income from your time so you can earn money while you sleep, travel, or work on something else entirely. The key shift is understanding leverage. Wealthy people don't work harder, they use leverage. They let their money, time, systems, or people work for them. For example, instead of earning $100 for an hour of consulting, they might write a book that earns $100 over its lifetime with no additional time spent after it's published. Instead of working extra shifts, they invest in a rental property that pays them every month. The idea isn't to avoid work, it's to build systems that keep working after you do the work once. Let's take a practical example. Imagine two people, Sarah and Mike. Sarah works as a freelance graphic designer. She charges $50 an hour and works full-time, so she earns about $100 a year. She's good at her job, but every dollar she earns requires more hours. She's constantly booked, and if she takes a vacation or gets sick, her income stops. Mike, on the other hand, also started as a freelance designer, but after a few years, he realized he was stuck in the time for money trap, so he started building digital assets. He created a course on design fundamentals and sold it online. He also built templates that he sells on marketplaces like Etsy or Gumroad. Over time, those assets began to generate passive income. He reinvested that money into dividend, paying stocks, and a small rental property. A few years later, Mike's design income is only part of his total revenue. He's earning money from multiple streams, many of which don't require daily effort. What separates Mike from Sarah isn't talent or luck, it's the mindset around income generation. Mike stopped thinking like a freelancer and started thinking like a business owner and investor. That shift allowed him to build wealth while freeing up his time. Sarah, despite working just as hard, remains stuck because her income still depends on her input. This is the trap most people fall into. They think working more hours or getting a better paying job is the solution to building wealth, but that path rarely leads to 7 figures. Millionaires don't just earn more, they build systems that earn for them. The sooner you break out of the time for money mindset, the sooner you can start creating income that scales beyond your hours. Most people believe they're doing the right thing by saving money, but the hard truth is that saving alone will never make you a millionaire. Here's the problem. Traditional advice tells you to cut expenses, stash money in a savings account, and live below your means. While that's a great starting point, it's not a wealth building strategy, it's a preservation strategy. Saving money helps you not go broke, but it doesn't help you get rich. Why? Because the money you save is constantly losing value to inflation, and it isn't growing fast enough to build real wealth over time. Let's say you manage to save $10,000 a year for the next 30 years. That's $300 even if you never touch it and you're disciplined about not spending it, that money's purchasing power will drop year after year. At a 3% average inflation rate, what costs $300,000 today could cost over $700,000 in 30 years, so your carefully saved money might not even buy you the same lifestyle in retirement, let alone make you a millionaire. Now here's the solution. You need to stop thinking like a saver and start thinking like an investor. Instead of letting your money sit idle in a low-yield savings account, you need to put it to work. Investing is the only practical way to grow your money at a rate that beats inflation and compounds over time. Whether it's the stock market, real estate, index funds, or even your own business, your money should be earning money. Compounding is the key here. It's what allows small amounts of money to grow into large sums over time. If you invest $10,000 and earn a 10% annual return, you don't just make $1,000 each year. That $1,000 gets reinvested and earns its own return. Over decades, that snowball effect is what builds real wealth. The earlier you start, the more powerful the effect. This is something millionaires and wealthy people understand well. They don't just save, they invest aggressively and consistently. Let's look at a real-world example. Take two people, Alex and Jordan. Both make $60,000 a year and are disciplined savers. Alex puts away $500 a month into a regular savings account, earning 0.5% interest. Jordan, on the other hand, invests that same $500 into a diversified index fund that earns an average of 8% annually. After 30 years, Alex will have saved about $200,000 with a tiny bit of interest. Jordan over $680,000, more than 3 times the amount, just by investing instead of saving. But the difference doesn't stop there. That $680,000 is still growing, even if Jordan stops contributing. Meanwhile, Alex's money just sits there, slowly eroding due to inflation. The problem isn't that Alex was irresponsible. In fact, Alex followed the conventional wisdom. The problem is the advice was incomplete. Saving alone is like trying to fill a pool with a teaspoon. It's slow, frustrating, and barely makes a dent. Investing is like turning on a hose. It doesn't mean you flood the pool instantly, but over time, it fills up a lot faster. This is where so many people fall behind. They save diligently, avoid unnecessary expenses, and feel like they're doing everything right, but they never learn how to grow their money. Fear of risk holds them back. They hear stories of market crashes, or they don't understand investing, so they stick with what feels safe. But in reality, avoiding investment is often the riskiest move of all, because it guarantees stagnation. Millionaires aren't reckless, they're calculated. They take smart risks, educate themselves, and play the long game. When you stop viewing money as something to protect and start seeing it as a tool to multiply, everything changes. Every dollar you earn becomes a little worker, and the more workers you have, the less you need to rely on your own time and labor. This is how wealth is built, not just by making more money, but by making your money work harder than you do. One of the biggest reasons people never become millionaires is because they avoid risk instead of learning how to manage it. The problem is that most of us are taught from a young age that safety equals success. Go to school, get good grades, get a secure job, save a little, and stay out of debt. It sounds responsible, and to a degree, it is, but it also creates a fear-based mindset around money. When people hear the word risk, they immediately think of loss, danger, or failure. So instead of learning how to take smart risks, they stay in their comfort zone where the growth potential is extremely limited. Avoiding risk altogether keeps people playing small. They're scared to invest because the stock market might crash. They're afraid to start a business because it might fail. They won't buy real estate because of the possibility of losing money. So they settle for the safe route: low paying jobs, minimal investments, and financial decisions that make them feel secure in the short term but keep them stuck in the long term. The result is predictable, slow or no progress toward wealth. Playing it too safe is actually one of the riskiest financial moves a person can make because it guarantees missed opportunities. The solution isn't to throw caution to the wind, it's to get educated and learn how to take *** calculated ** risks. Wealthy people don't avoid risk. They assess it, plan for it, and use it strategically. The goal is not to eliminate uncertainty, but to understand it and manage it in a way that tilts the odds in your favor. It's about doing your homework, running the numbers, seeking advice, and starting small before scaling up. Taking risks doesn't mean being reckless, it means being willing to step outside your comfort zone with a strategy in place. There's a massive difference between blind risk and informed risk. For example, investing in a random cryptocurrency because it's trending on social media is blind risk. But researching a diversified index fund, understanding historical returns, and investing consistently over time is informed risk. The first is gambling, the second is strategy. Millionaires don't take every risk, they take smart ones with calculated upside. Take the example of Lisa and Kevin. Lisa is extremely cautious with money. She has a stable job, no debt, and keeps all her savings in a bank account. She doesn't invest because she's worried about losing money. She's proud of being safe, but her financial life hasn't changed much in 10 years. Her money is essentially frozen, not growing, not building wealth. Kevin started in a similar place, but instead of avoiding risk, he decided to learn about it. He spent months reading books on personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. He took small steps, opened a retirement account, started investing a small percentage of his income, and eventually bought a duplex where he lives in one unit and rents out the other. That property brings in income each month and over time has appreciated in value. Kevin's portfolio grows steadily because he took risks, but only after preparing himself to handle them. What separates Kevin from Lisa isn't luck or intelligence. It's mindset and action. Kevin understood that wealth requires some degree of risk, but rather than fear it, he figured out how to manage it. Meanwhile, Lisa continues to avoid anything uncertain, even though her fear is costing her far more in missed opportunity than any loss she might have encountered through smart investing. Risk is the price of entry to the world of wealth. If you avoid it entirely, you're shutting the door on the very opportunities that could lead to financial freedom. The people who win financially are the ones who stop trying to eliminate all risk and instead learn how to navigate it with confidence and clarity. One of the most common but overlooked reasons people don't become millionaires is lifestyle inflation. This happens when your expenses rise in direct proportion to your income. The problem is subtle at first. You get a raise, a bonus, or a better paying job, and you immediately start upgrading your lifestyle. Maybe you move to a nicer apartment, buy a newer car, start dining out more often, or take more expensive vacations. These upgrades feel justified because you're earning more, but over time, they trap you in a cycle where no matter how much you make, you never seem to get ahead financially. Lifestyle inflation creates the illusion of progress. From the outside, you may look successful, nice clothes, luxury gadgets, an upgraded home, but behind the scenes, your bank account doesn't reflect it. Your expenses keep pace with, or sometimes even exceed, your income. This makes saving difficult, investing impossible, and financial freedom seem further and further away. It also builds a dependence on high income just to maintain your standard of living, leaving you vulnerable if anything disrupts that income. In short, the more you make, the more you spend, and the more you stay stuck. The solution is to create a lifestyle that lags behind your income, not one that races to keep up with it. This doesn't mean living like a monk or depriving yourself forever. It means being intentional with your money. Instead of automatically upgrading every area of your life when you get a raise, you pause and ask, does this move me closer to financial independence, or just make me feel richer in the short term? The goal is to keep your expenses relatively low while your income increases, so you can use the gap between the two to build wealth through saving, investing, or acquiring assets. This requires a shift in mindset. You have to detach your self-worth from what you own or what people think you can afford. Many millionaires, especially self-made ones, live far below their means. They drive used cars, live in modest homes, and resist the pressure to flaunt their wealth. Why? Because they understand that real wealth is invisible. It's not about what you spend, it's about what you keep, grow, and protect. Living below your means isn't a sacrifice, it's a strategy. Let's look at an example. Meet Rachel and Sam, both earn $120,000 a year. Rachel, when she got her first big promotion, upgraded her lifestyle across the board. She leased a luxury SUV, moved into a high-rise apartment, got a personal trainer, and started flying first class for vacations. By the end of each month, her bank account was nearly empty. She assumed she'd save later when she earned even more. Sam took a different route. When his income jumped, he kept his old apartment, drove his reliable used car, and funneled the extra money into investments. He maxed out his retirement accounts, bought a rental property, and built a solid emergency fund. Over the next 5 years, his net worth grew steadily while Rachel stayed stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck loop, despite earning a 6-figure salary. Sam's approach didn't require extreme frugality, just discipline and long-term thinking. He didn't say no to every indulgence, but he made sure his lifestyle never grew faster than his income. That intentional gap gave him financial breathing room and opened doors to opportunities Rachel couldn't afford, even though they technically made the same money. This kind of lifestyle discipline is what sets future millionaires apart. They understand that wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about creating freedom. Every time you delay a lifestyle upgrade, you're buying yourself more time, options, and financial power. It's not about deprivation, it's about designing a life that gets richer behind the scenes, even if it doesn't always show on the surface. A major reason most people never become millionaires is because they follow advice that's designed to keep them in the middle class, not to build wealth. This advice is often well-meaning things like go to college, get a safe job, work hard, save a little, avoid debt. But it's based on outdated rules from a different economy. It was created in a time when jobs were stable, pensions existed, and the cost of living was manageable. But today, the world has changed. Following that same script now often leads to financial stagnation, not success. The problem with middle-class advice is that it emphasizes security over growth and predictability over opportunity. It trains people to think small, avoid risk, and aim for comfort rather than freedom. It tells you to play defense with your money, cut expenses, budget tightly, save for retirement when you're old, but it rarely teaches you how to play offense, how to grow your income, or how to build real wealth. And worst of all, it assumes that just working hard is enough. But in today's economy, working hard without a strategy often means you just end up tired and broke. The solution is to stop blindly following traditional financial advice and start studying what the wealthy actually do. Millionaires don't rely solely on a paycheck. They don't leave their financial future in the hands of one employer. They build multiple streams of income, invest early and often, take calculated risks, and understand how money works. They prioritize financial education, learning about taxes, leverage, cash flow, and how to use systems to scale their efforts. They know that wealth isn't built by cutting lattes, it's built by creating value, owning assets, and thinking long-term. This shift starts by questioning the common assumptions most people grow up with. For example, the belief that buying a house is always a good investment. Many people pour their life savings into a home thinking it's their greatest asset, when in reality, it often becomes a liability, draining their cash flow through mortgage payments, maintenance, and taxes. Meanwhile, someone with a wealth mindset might rent cheaply and invest the difference in assets that actually generate income. Let's take two people, Emily and Brian. Emily followed the classic middle-class script. She got a degree, found a stable job, bought a house in her 20s, and saved 10% of her income in a retirement account. She was financially responsible by conventional standards. But over the years, her income grew slowly, her expenses kept rising, and her savings barely kept up with inflation. She avoided investing outside her 401k because she didn't want to take risks, and she never explored other income opportunities. Brian, on the other hand, decided to challenge that script. After college, he focused on building skills that allowed him to increase his income rapidly. He lived below his means and used his extra cash to start a small online business. Instead of buying a house right away, he rented affordably and used his savings to invest in real estate and index funds. He didn't avoid debt, he used good debt to acquire cash-flowing assets. Over time, he built multiple income streams, giving him both financial security and growth potential. The difference between Emily and Brian isn't intelligence or effort, it's mindset and strategy. Emily did what everyone told her to do and ended up stuck in the financial middle. Brian broke away from conventional advice and built his own path to wealth. He understood that if you want different results, you have to follow a different plan. Most people aren't taught how to become wealthy. They're taught how to be comfortable, how to survive, and how to avoid failure. But that path rarely leads to financial freedom. If you want to become a millionaire, you have to think differently, act differently, and question the advice that most people blindly accept as truth. A key reason why many people never become millionaires is that they don't have a long-term wealth strategy. Instead of operating with a clear financial game plan, they live reactively, making decisions based on short-term needs, emotions, or convenience. They might save when it's easy, invest when the market is hot, or spend when they get a bonus. But without a defined roadmap, they drift financially, never really building momentum toward lasting wealth. They mistake random effort for a plan, and as a result, their progress is slow, inconsistent, or completely stalled. The problem here is not a lack of income or even intelligence, it's a lack of intentionality. People tend to underestimate how much long-term clarity impacts daily financial choices. Without a strategy, it's easy to get distracted by shiny objects, high interest savings accounts, the latest investing trend, or the fear of missing out on a hot stock. They might buy into something one month, sell it the next, or shift gears every time the economy shifts. This constant start and stop approach keeps them from benefiting from the most powerful financial tool of all, consistency. The solution is to build a long-term wealth strategy and stick to it. This means creating a clear, written plan that outlines your financial goals, your timeline, your investment strategy, your spending habits, and your wealth-building tactics. It's not just about how much you earn, it's about what you do with that money, how you allocate it, and how you protect and grow it over time. Millionaires think in decades, not days. They know exactly where their money is going, how much they're investing each month, and what kind of return they need to hit their goals. A wealth strategy also helps you stay focused when distractions and setbacks come, and they always do. When the market dips, people without a strategy panic and sell. People with a strategy stay calm and stay invested. When they get a raise, people without a plan upgrade their lifestyle. People with a strategy use that extra money to accelerate their goals. Strategy creates discipline, and discipline builds wealth. Consider the example of Daniel and Priya. Daniel earns well, but he doesn't have a strategy. He saves when he can, invests in whatever seems popular, and spends the rest. He listens to finance podcasts, watches YouTube videos, and tries different things, but his actions are scattered. One year he invests in crypto, the next he's focused on real estate, and then he stops entirely because he's unsure of what to do next. Even though he's motivated, his net worth barely grows because there's no consistent direction. Priya, on the other hand, built a plan. She knows she wants to reach a net worth of $1 million by age 40. She broke that goal down into yearly targets and created a budget that prioritizes investing 30% of her income. She chose a simple investment strategy: index funds for long-term growth, a small real estate portfolio for cash flow, and reinvesting her returns. She tracks her progress monthly, reviews her goals quarterly, and adjusts her plan only when necessary, not based on emotions, but based on data. The result: even though Priya makes only slightly more than Daniel, her wealth grows faster and more predictably. She doesn't waste energy guessing what to do next or chasing every new opportunity. Her plan gives her clarity, and her consistency turns small steps into big outcomes over time. That's the power of having a strategy. It multiplies your results without requiring more effort, just better direction. Most people don't realize that millionaire status isn't usually the result of one big break. It's the result of hundreds of small, well-aligned decisions made over years, and the only way to make those decisions consistently is by having a clear plan that keeps you on track. Without it, even the best intentions get lost in the noise of daily life and short-term thinking. A key reason why many people never become millionaires is that they don't have a long-term wealth strategy. Instead of operating with a clear financial game plan, they live reactively making decisions based on short-term needs, emotions, or convenience. They might save when it's easy, invest when the market is hot, or spend when they get a bonus. But without a defined roadmap, they drift financially, never really building momentum toward lasting wealth. They mistake random effort for a plan, and as a result, their progress is slow, inconsistent, or completely stalled. The problem here is not a lack of income or even intelligence, it's a lack of intentionality. People tend to underestimate how much long-term clarity impacts daily financial choices. Without a strategy, it's easy to get distracted by shiny objects, high interest savings accounts, the latest investing trend, or the fear of missing out on a hot stock. They might buy into something one month, sell it the next, or shift gears every time the economy shifts. This constant start and stop approach keeps them from benefiting from the most powerful financial tool of all, consistency. The solution is to build a long-term wealth strategy and stick to it. This means creating a clear, written plan that outlines your financial goals, your timeline, your investment strategy, your spending habits, and your wealth-building tactics. It's not just about how much you earn, it's about what you do with that money, how you allocate it, and how you protect and grow it over time. Millionaires think in decades, not days. They know exactly where their money is going, how much they are investing each month, and what kind of return they need to hit their goals. A wealth strategy also helps you stay focused when distractions and setbacks come, and they always do. When the market dips, people without a strategy panic and sell. People with a strategy stay calm and stay invested. When they get a raise, people without a plan upgrade their lifestyle. People with a strategy use that extra money to accelerate their goals. Strategy creates discipline, and discipline builds wealth. Consider the example of Daniel and Priya. Daniel earns well, but he doesn't have a strategy. He saves when he can, invests in whatever seems popular, and spends the rest. He listens to finance podcasts, watches YouTube videos, and tries different things, but his actions are scattered. One year he invests in crypto, the next he's focused on real estate, and then he stops entirely because he's unsure of what to do next. Even though he's motivated, his net worth barely grows because there's no consistent direction. Priya, on the other hand, built a plan. She knows she wants to reach a net worth of $1 million by age 40. She broke that goal down into yearly targets and created a budget that prioritizes investing 30% of her income. She chose a simple investment strategy, index funds for long-term growth, a small real estate portfolio for cash flow, and reinvesting her returns. She tracks her progress monthly, reviews her goals quarterly, and adjusts her plan only when necessary, not based on emotions, but based on data. The result, even though Priya makes only slightly more than Daniel, her wealth grows faster and more predictably. She doesn't waste energy guessing what to do next or chasing every new opportunity. Her plan gives her clarity, and her consistency turns small steps into big outcomes over time. That's the power of having a strategy. It multiplies your results without requiring more effort, just better direction. Most people don't realize that millionaire status isn't usually the result of one big break. It's the result of hundreds of small, well-aligned decisions made over years. And the only way to make those decisions consistently is by having a clear plan that keeps you on track. Without it, even the best intentions get lost in the noise of daily life and short-term thinking. Here's a concise ***, out-row **** that includes a ***, quick summary ***, a ***, call to action ***, and a *** tease for the next video ***, all within ***, 150 words ***, in the tone of Graham Stephan. So to recap, you're not becoming a millionaire because you're stuck trading time for money. You're saving instead. of investing, you're avoiding risk rather than managing it. Your lifestyle inflates with your income, you're following outdated middle-class advice, and most importantly, you have no long-term wealth strategy. These aren't just small mistakes, they're mindset traps. Break free from them, and you open the door to real financial freedom. If you found value in this, make sure to *** subscribe ***, hit that *** like *** button, and let me know in the *** comments *** which of these 6 points hit you the hardest. And if you're ready to take the next step, check out my upcoming video, *** of 5 habits that keep you broke even if you make good money. ***, trust me, you don't want to miss that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.